pay a fee, you have to pay the membership. And I said, it was too late. I said, okay, I send it as a PDF. So it's just an image, basically.
Oh, so it's an image. Yeah. No, that's what I looked, because of course I couldn't comment on it because you had all the changes. Just one second, Daniela.
Yeah, sure, no problem.
I'm just going to pause the recording.
Yeah.
Just one more, because I just realized I made notes and my book is downstairs. Just bear with me one second.
No worries.
I'm not closing the
Okay.
meeting. I'm just pausing the recording.
Yeah, it's fine.
I just made notes here.
Okay, thank you.
So, some questions I wanted, because you said there's a narrative for each piece. So I'm impressed. Look, I'm going to share our screen.
Okay, that's good.
So I'm going to share my screen so we can look at the mind map together. So that's where we are. So,
okay, good. So because I put the document on, but if I look at your screen, it's easier. Yes, here we go.
Yes, because then I can just sort of see. I need to move us a bit. All right, so we can. So great, and well done, you. It's really good, because I can sort of. How long did that take you to do?
Well, it's taking about, because as you said that during the time, don't do last minute, and that was a good idea. So I started doing just after our conversation 2 weeks ago. Actually, I started putting some ideas down. I write down, and then I start using this mind map and putting the comments. Then I was improving the comments and maybe it doesn't make sense. Okay, let me change again. Maybe it makes sense, because when you have the story in your mind, you know everything. But then I know that on the other side it can be tricky. I think that still some of these elements, some of these comments are still quite obscure if I don't explain maybe. But yeah, I try to go through all these basically last 2 years, because this is a kind of an experiment. This is a kind of experience. So when all these comments is the result of basically 2 years and a half job, because my job has been based so far mostly on developing this online system for courses. So I went through all the stages and already 2 managers. So it's a work in progress. So first stage where I was simply the person who was copying and pasting. Second stage, second manager, a little bit more happy for me to do more. So I passed on the side of making improvements. And now we are kind of a third stage, as I said, where after 2 years and a half, we realized that maybe the product doesn't match the requirements. Also, on top, we have another top manager, managing director, let's say. They call the manager division manager. So it's a different person from the one who signed off this product.
So the platform.
The platform who signed off the project for this platform. So as you can see, 2 years and a half, how many think I'm not still here?
Exactly. So you've gone through. So you went back through the stage. That's really good. And so you went back to sort of say when did this start and how did you? So you've gone through 2 managers with this. So first one gave you the
2 line managers and 2 managing directors. Yeah.
2 line managers. You see, and you survived. You see, you're the survivor. Okay, so the first one where you were just copying and pasting, so he didn't really give you much responsibility, and then afterwards gave you a bit more response. So before creating this mind map, you went back to look at how it started and what's happened in the last 2.5 years. Right. Okay. So you found that helpful.
Yeah, I found really helpful because, as I said, I'm on the because again in my because my role has changed as well. So before, the part of the customer satisfaction, it was followed up by another person in the team who was let's say responsible for the professional learning in general. They never thought that actually it was me who was in theory the best person to see the feedback, because I was the one who was designing. So this is something else happening during this process that I said I need to change my role. I need to see the feedback, and this is why I have now the bigger picture of what the users say and what the business also think about that.
Okay, so this is what happens, when you have different people doing different
Yeah,
tasks, and so then you couldn't see the whole picture, the bigger picture, the
exactly.
whole picture. So great. I have questions, but I'm going to hear you first,
Yeah.
because as I'm going through the different parts now,
Yeah.
there's one English correction I'm going to make to you, which is, let me just hold on, where am I? Which is, where's my yes, hold on, I was just trying to find that. That's it. When you're trying to go, okay, business, not prospective but perspective.
Of course. I always do.
Yes, yeah, because a perspective is a prospect, is something that you're getting, it's like a bit like in Italian, it's prospettive. No, but prospettive,
Prospettiva.
it's a false friend in Italian. But it's a prospect. Well, no, it is, because you're anticipating that you might, you have a prospect of doing something, an expectation. But this is your business perspective from your business point of view.
Exactly, the business point of view, not the perspective. I mean, what we're going to do.
Right.
You're right.
Okay.
I do always this mistake. No, in Italian it's the same. It's not a false friend. It's the same.
What
Prospettiva.
what perspective you mean?
Yeah. It's exactly the same. So it's not in a false friend in theory. It's a chat.
Right. Okay. No, that's fine. That's why I just wanted to make it. Because as you know, I'm not a big stickler for grammar, but obviously if you're going to be putting it in a report and a
Yeah.
proposal, then you just need, because they'll look at it
Yeah.
and think, what does it mean? Great. Otherwise, no. So that was just the one thing I thought, because I couldn't add my comment, I couldn't write it.
Yeah.
Great.
No problem.
So
It's
you
true.
had the reason for change. So this is what you're thinking. So where are you going to start?
Yeah, Shanti, because what we said last time, it was also find the proposal. I didn't arrive at that stage because I didn't know how to move after that. I mean, I had a kind of a block, because also I was thinking, okay, let me put down. Try to make clear what are the reason for change, as you said, and maybe from there I can start working out the proposal. Also, because proposal, maybe they have to take in consideration many elements that at the moment for me I'm a little bit obscure, so I'm trying to understand how to build the business case, and also maybe I need other people as well. I mean, it's not
Probably,
something
yeah,
that I can do
absolutely.
by myself. Yeah.
So the first stage here you've done is to highlight the reasons for the change,
Yeah.
which is perfectly, which is such a great way of doing it. First, where's the problem? What's
So
your problem? Problem?
exactly, and so basically I divide in two. I mean, user from the side of the user, of course. Feedback, as I said, I mean, and the navigation is complicated. We had over 2.5 years a process of improving every time and over time, improving the platform, okay, so let's add an overview of the course. Didn't work. Okay, let's have I mean, we tried to create all the possible elements using this platform that could have helped the students, the users to better navigate, but that's difficult. The resources are not very interactive as well, because the itself, the platform can be very interactive, but the problem is that the platform needs to be used for, first of all, people using the platform need to learn how to use the platform first. And this is not something that in an online course you want to do, because you want to go straight to the point, straight to start studying. You don't want to waste time to understand, oh, how should I use the platform? And this is something, and this platform, again, is very interactive, but if used in a specific way. So we try to make it interactive in as much as we could, but in an easy way, and but this is not exactly how it works.
Okay,
Yeah,
let me just stop you there. So, did you produce a guide?
I produce a guide, yes.
So how to navigate around the platform? Yeah.
I use a guide. Maybe another guide. Maybe we should have done some more guide, more like a video, for example, you know, this Camtasia video where you do, but in order to do that, you need to do something professional, no, like in terms, I mean, we sell a product, the video should be a nice video that you are able to where you're able to explain also with a graphic. Maybe it cannot be like yes, in some courses you find someone talking through a slides now using a Camtasia one. So in theory, yes, but it's crazy enough, because the type of job that I do in particular is so busy, so fast, that it's difficult to find the time not to do this video. So it would have been another small project that has been always in a kind of no priority, actually. So crazy enough. But the instructions have been done like on PDF or like explaining everything, but all in all, it looks like that's still a little bit clunky.
Right. Okay, let me just ask you one thing here. For example, okay, so there was you just had a PDF guide.
Yeah.
Okay, so it was just a PDF guide, no Camtasia, because okay, although you think, yeah, videos normally, you know, when you think about people go to YouTube and they go, well, how do I use this? And it's much easier. And interesting you saying not professional enough, but to be honest, people just, as you say, they want to just get onto that platform as quickly as possible and start using. So how you produce a video with Camtasia doesn't have to be super fancy, because, you know, the main thing is the platform. So this is just a little thing. But okay, so but the issues you had there was that you were too busy. And
there is not the capacity, exactly, because it means also creating a script and doing the video, and I'm busy not only with this project, but in this project in particular, because the platform, but this is after, because the content they needs to be duplicated, and the duplication takes so much time, that it's crazy that you think, okay, let's do first the video, but there is no time.
Right. Okay, because then, yeah, this is, as I was reading this and I was thinking, I need to refresh my memory.
Yeah, sure.
In terms of your platform. So first of all, you're saying users feedback. So who are your users? They are your teachers, right?
Yes, the teachers that they do the course, yeah.
Okay, so your users are teachers. And the course, how many courses have you got on that platform?
The platform has in total, how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
5 courses.
6 courses.
You have 6 courses on the platform. These teachers that have used, I'm just throwing out questions here. Then I would like you to go through your.
Yeah, sure.
Your teachers that are using them, are they tech savvy? Do you expect them to be tech savvy? Who's your ideal type of teacher?
The ideal type of teacher is a teacher who is, she can be a young teacher, so maybe more interested in technology and more used to technology, because maybe she uses a lot of the mobile, the phone, but can be also a teacher with the 30 years of teaching on her. background, who maybe, yes, she knows that she has to use technology because the school, they say that technology is part, but they actually a little bit how do you say, resistant, or not resistant, not resilient. Yeah, they're resistant to use technology very much.
So they're resistant to change, basically.
To change, there are, it can be really vary the target. It's not because imagine are not our primary school, secondary school, and early years school teachers.
Right. So what we were talking about in the last program, where you're trying to encourage these teachers to go onto this online platform. They're all resistant to change. Also to have these workshops, go through the platform. So your target market are your teachers, primary, secondary, who some of them might be tech savvy, some of them are not, don't really want to change the way they do it. So first and foremost, your platform has to be easy to use.
Yeah.
Okay.
They expect to have an easy platform to use.
So easy to use. All right, great. So going through your thoughts here, you said was users feedback. So obviously easy to use, and the first thing you put here was navigation is complicated.
Yeah, the navigation is complicated, so it's not easy to use straight away, because there is not a typical online course where you get your content very clearly outlined, and you don't go through the content and have, for example, on a side how many I've done, how many I have to do. No, there is not this kind of menu, or they give you the progress in sense of okay, I'm on content number 2, so what is the other content? It's kind of difficult actually to explain how it works, but has been always, it would work very well, this platform, if the course was shorter, where our courses are quite large, because imagine that is in a face-to-face environment, is a 2-day course. So it's a 2-day course, and it's about in total is how many hours? 9 hours. No, is I think is 12 hours in total. This course.
So
face to face. 6 per day.
So they have face to face with a tutor.
Yeah. In the face-to-face environment, but in the online environment, of course, this should have been thought differently. But because
so I'm getting confused. So here you're talking about you're talking about the face-to-face is a 2-day course. As I was thinking, I said, hold on, online I should be able to do this however long.
No, sure, exactly. This is an online version of the face-to-face. They didn't have the online before.
So you have 12 hours of teaching.
Yeah, 12 hours of teaching in the face-to-face. And what was the idea when the course has been developed online? It was, if it's 12 hours face-to-face, let's do 2 hours online.
2 hours face-to-face online.
Sorry, 12 hours face-to-face. So they want to translate these 12 hours in 12 hours online. So that's why the course itself lasts for 3 weeks.
Okay, so 12 hours online over 3 weeks, spread over 3 weeks. So it's a 3-week course.
It's a 3-week course.
Right. So they need to finish it within 3 weeks.
Yes.
So it's not like, okay, I can do it whenever I want.
No, it's not the type.
Okay,
because
that's fine.
Because first of all, the platform doesn't allow that, and also because the type of course has been designed with but let's go ahead. Sorry, otherwise I go out.
So navigation is complicated. So first of all, they don't know what are they. When you say navigation, they can't look at the so no progress report. You're saying
there is a kind of
So each navigation is complicated. So the problem with navigation is one, no progress report. They can't see what? What else can they not see?
They can, in theory, if you've never seen this platform, you struggle to understand where to start. even,
Okay, you don't
because
know where to start.
you don't know how to start sometimes, because it's like there is a list of content, but it's not like, again, it's not like in a, the typical Linda course online, the way you have this content. You just have a page with a content, and you click and you start going through now through the different videos. And then when the video is over, okay, fine, and it brings you to the back. No, this is more manual. So you have, as a user, you have to click in here, click in there, click it to go through the content all over over time.
So let me imagine. I go onto because this is important, because you're going to put all the problems,
Yeah.
and then what you need to solve it, right? So your navigation is gone to that little bubble.
Mm-hmm.
You've got, so the user doesn't even know where to start.
Not if they are, or not if they don't have any instructions.
So no, if no instructions. Let's see, anche la penna sta andando. Okay, don't know where to start if they don't have instructions. Yeah, but would they not have instructions?
The instructions are provided by this kind of quick instructions that I created, but also, as I said, there is there is a facilitator who is a trainer, who has the control, and who is the one who he basically record a short video at the beginning of the course. And this short video is in a kind of social area, no? Like the one you have in a common area, like Slack, for example. There is this area where everybody can see your comments, and it could be something like this. So basically, the facilitator gives the welcome with the video, and in this welcome also he gives some instructions, like first of all, we will start with module 1. To start module 1, you have to click in this. So he gives a little bit of instruction, but more verbally, so they understand that they understand where they have to go. At least they have an initial
okay, because I'm just trying to say, they don't know where to start if they have no instructions, but they do have instructions.
Yeah, they do have instructions if they listen to the facilitator video. I mean, if they stay there.
How easy is it to find the facilitator's video? So I open up I've joined this course. Yeah. I open it up. Is it then immediately, before you start, watch this video?
No. It's in a kind of, imagine that it's the virtual environment. The page has different boxes, and one of these boxes, which is at the top, is the facilitator message. No, but if they miss that one, they start going directly on the other boxes where there are the content. So this is the point. It's not like in a prompt that say, look at this video and start your course, something like this.
So maybe a solution then would be setting it up so it says, before you even start, watch this video.
Before we even start, watch the video, exactly.
Before start, don't try to do this without. Before starting, watch your video. I'm just writing down here. Watch video.
Thank you.
Okay, fine. So, okay, don't know where to start if they don't have instructions. Then you said no progress report.
No.
Okay, so they don't know, as they're going through the modules or whatever you've got, there's no way of saying, well, I've completed that.
I've done this, I've done that. No.
I'm 20% into my course, I'm 30% into.
No,
now,
exactly.
is that a problem? Have people said, oh, I'd like to have a progress report? Because when you say navigation is complicated, it doesn't suggest to me a progress. For me, the navigation is if I can't find anything. It's just
let's say that if there wasn't a progress report based on the navigation, like when you have a lot of online courses, you have even if it's not exactly a progress report during your navigation. So you are in a course, so you starting going through the pages that you need to study, but if you are in page 1, okay, page 1, then if you start navigate, but you know that you have other 10 pages ahead. in this case, you don't, because you don't know that, because there is no way in any part of this virtual environment where you can track in which part of your chapter, for example, you are. So if you don't know if you still have 20 ahead, unless you get a step back in your navigation and you see a kind of an outline outside. But usually the outline are like on a side.
Right. Okay. So you're in the middle of a chapter, and then okay. So no progress report during the module. Okay. So that's important. It's nice to know. So where have I got to? How much have I got left to do? It's also because what's useful for that is also maybe what do you think? I mean, why would that be beneficial? Because of course, again, you're giving. Why is that a problem for people? Why do people want to see a progress report? What does that help them with?
To schedule their session, first of all, to schedule the time.
Okay, so it's time, scheduling their time.
Imagine that, for example, this is the other, because this is the other, is all connected with also the timing that we are giving to the people to perform in this course. If it was like watching 5 minutes of video, you would have known, fine, it's 5 minutes of video, so I know that in 5 minutes, maybe I put in account, I need to watch twice, and out of these 5 minutes, maybe I have also other, 15 minutes of notes. But when you don't have anything, in theory, you say, how to do?
So time management is difficult.
Yeah.
So no progress report basically means that the teachers can't manage their time efficiently.
Exactly.
Or cannot manage time efficiently. Okay, manage time efficiently. I'm just trying to think of, yes, what is the real problem here? Okay, just because I don't have a progress report, and this is a big thing for you because, of course, teachers don't have time, and you're trying to make this efficient for them, and it's not efficient. So if you don't know where to start, of course, your navigation is complicated. So that's wasting time, frustration, and we all know that, right? You go onto a site, you go onto a platform, if you can't find what you're looking for immediately, you just shut down and just think, oh, for God's sake. Okay, frustration.
Why I have to do that?
Frustration, irritation, and teachers already have a lot of problem, to deal with stuff. You give them something that's okay. Great. Resources are not very interactive.
Yeah, this is another little story behind that, because this platform has been sold as a very interactive platform.
Mm-hmm.
This is the famous,
Yeah, I love it. Yeah.
This is the famous sales pitch, that they used to do, very interactive. Absolutely, they are absolutely right. It is very interactive. After that, you have done maybe 1 month of training. You trained the people who is going to use this platform as well. You have maybe 6 months of experience of this platform, and then it's very interactive.
Okay, so let me see. So let's recap. So resources are meant to be interactive. And
Yes.
it can be so not very interactive. So remove that not very, make it really not interactive. You're not very, it's a bit, we're sort of, we're toning it down. That's not interactive. Because, it could be interactive if you say after 1 month of intensive training on how to use the platform and 6 months experience of using the platform. Considering the course is a 3-week course, that's not going to happen.
No. So this is the other issue.
So therefore, accessing these resources, are you saying also accessing the resources, or just that they're not, as they can't access?
Let's say that because of the type of because the way how the course is, so let's be more specific, more than resources. Let's talk about activity maybe, or let's talk about user interaction, maybe task.
So the task's not interactive enough.
No.
But why are the tasks not interactive? Because, so for example, if you created a task and you're saying, so I put in, you are expecting them to put in answers or write.
Yeah, because I can give you an answer also to this, because the way how the system has been built is that is in a working in progress. So you have a group of students, for example, like in your course, Shanti, you have a group of, actually I can tell you this this platform, no, not at all. You have a group of students, and with this group of students you are going through a journey. The journey starts, I don't know, term one, you have you studying a specific task, so you studying, sorry, a specific topic. You start so populating this environment with the topic, and then as a teacher you say, okay guys, for the end of this week I want this task done. So you publish the task online and the students work on the task, fine. So you, for example, add other content on this platform. You say, oh, why don't you read also this one, maybe while you do the task. So it's very interesting. But thinking that you want to basically create a course straight away, I mean, setting up a course completely on a kind of platform like this is kind of a crazy idea, because it's what was the task and very interactive. Yeah, because when you built in tasks already directly on the system, it starts to be clunky, because people get lost, because I don't know what should I do. I mean, I don't have the teacher in class telling me, showing me how the task will be, or online telling me this will be the task after your course, because the students, they supposed to, the teacher in this case, they're supposed to go through the course on their own time as well, because there are not, oh, everything is dark, sorry, because I didn't move. These are the kind of room that you need to move in. And I was on the wrong point. So this is it, yeah. So the tasks are not interactive in the sense that the teachers, they go through and already set up a course where these tasks are already set up, and nobody's going to say, okay, next one, it will be this activity. So please keep in mind that this activity needs to be this and in this way. No? There is no, because when the courses also have been set up, there were not much time to create instructions. So they gave, the people who sold this course, they put in a very easy way. Oh yes, it's very interactive, a lot of tasks, but they didn't explain that actually the task, they need a little bit of understanding.
So let me get this right. This course is to teach the teachers.
Yes.
To use this learning management system.
No. The course is to teach the teacher something completely different, how to use the curriculum, the international curriculum at school.
So you're just giving me an example of, where you can then add the resource on that for them to do. It's like, when we
exactly,
have a look at here. So you're saying that the resources were put in there.
Yeah.
But they can't access it easily.
No, it's all in there, so they can access all in a go if they want, because in the course of 3 weeks course is all there. So it's not like that they have to wait a week or another week to have their tasks, their assignment. But actually this course, it will work much better in this way. I mean, having a small group of teachers that they listen to videos, and then at the end there is a facilitator who launch the collaboration or send a task or says, now you doing this, you doing that in the online environment.
Right. So you're saying, when you say the resources are not interactive, the reason is because you don't have that in place. I mean, I'm thinking resources like you're saying. So do they have the videos on the platform that they can watch? But what is lacking is a sort of form of community or like blended learning then with the teacher to discuss what they've watched.
Yeah, in theory that would be ideal, for example, but the resources are not even, I mean, the course itself is not based on video even, it's based on content. So
So
written
there's just a lot
content.
of reading. They just have to do
There
a lot
is some reading, yes, there is some reading, not much. There is some reading that they go through, and the time to time there is, during this reading, is built on pages. And for example, page one is the reading, page 2 is another reading, page 3, let's do a discussion. Then page 4 is the reading, page 5 is another reading. Then, okay, now do the task. Is the narration is they did the narration as in an online course, an LMS, in an LMS, but actually this is not a system that will work in the same way. I mean, it's kind of, you have a plan. In this plan, you have in theory activities, you have core things to read, but people find it difficult.
Okay, why? Why do they find it difficult?
I think they found it difficult because they kind of, because the course is big, so they are kind of lost. Even if we give specific timing, okay, you have to do this in week 1, you have to do this in week 2.
Yeah.
This is something that, and actually now we are changing with the project that I've done recently. We're using more this plan tool. Is a tool that is built in already in the system, so they have a plan. Before, it was just the crazy things that my ex-manager decided to do. He was creating all these pages and creating an internal navigation internal to the page. So basically they have to click one by one in this navigation, and that was even worse because technically it was not working properly. So they have difficulties, I think, and going back to the interaction of the activities. If the course is already built in and everything is in there, in theory, you miss a little bit that kind of element of, okay, what will be the task at the end of this week, you know? Or, okay, what will happen after, no? It's already basic, let's say. It's a little bit basic.
So what you're saying, that it all is all laid out.
Yeah.
So there's no excitement for, oh, what can we expect?
Yeah, it's no, there is no, yeah.
Because they have access to the entire week.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they can't finish one thing and then the next bit will open up for them. So ideally, that's what you might want is, so there's that anticipation. Oh, I'll finish the one bit.
Yeah.
I can't access the next bit until I finish this bit.
Yeah, it doesn't happen. This is already laid out, as you
Laid
said.
up. But is that because they can pick and choose what to study, or do they have to go through it in a not chronological, in a
they need to go, no, they need absolutely to follow a narration, because otherwise the doesn't make sense, the course.
Okay, so if I can't skip to week 2 because
no, but
so
I cannot control this. This is the point, that if, for example, they start navigating freely, it's a mess, because they start going 1, 2, 3. No, it's no, there is no control.
But can they do that at the moment?
Yes, they can, in theory.
So this is where maybe that's the confusion.
Mm.
Oh, I don't know. Have people try doing that?
Yeah, no. I think this could be one of the confusion, because in theory, you have all in a go. You go in a platform and you see vroom, straight away 3 weeks of program. And even if, yes, it could help in theory, but it doesn't help, in my opinion, because they get confused and they can start jumping and they can say, okay, but why? No, but I want to, I mean, you understand, no?
Exactly. So it's because it's not like they can just pick and choose. They have to follow it in a system. Okay, let's move on to because I'm also mindful of your time, our time.
Ooh,
but you said
your time.
The participants sometimes don't understand the course assignments, and this is where I was confused, because I made a note here. I was like, why? Is that the fault of the platform, or because? I mean, so I was thinking, well, why don't they understand? So is this the fault of the platform, or because they just don't understand?
because it's the fault, no, because it's the fault of the platform. Is also the fault of the platform, because it's the sometimes the assignment is a fault of the platform, but it's a little bit also the fault of the course, because the course itself is not giving them is not sometimes like 1 + 1 = 2. The course is more like a kind of a pedagogical type of course. So in a face-to-face environment, there is a lot of this kind of teaching things that the teacher do. Okay, so what do you think about that? And they talk all together in group. In a face-to-face course, there is not even a completion. There are no completion criteria. For example, they don't do an exam at the end. It's just a talking through the content, and then say, okay, now I give you the, let's say in theory, the reflection useful for you to start implementing at school, the curriculum. So this is the other difficulties that, and is another point that is actually part of the, not the user feedback, but at the very higher level, maybe for the business. I don't know if I put in the business side. I cannot see the second part of the, for maybe it's the last one. No, the features of creation.
That's all I had when you sent me the PDF.
Yes, the other element is that there is, because the course has not been based on a thinking, the online course, it was not properly thought for online, where the course itself, the face-to-face course has a lot of talking in class with the teachers. I would say actually that the 50% of this course is about the teacher thinking about going through their reflections together about how they should work in the classroom, because we're not passing only knowledge, we're passing skills as well. I mean, we're trying to transmit skills. So the thing is that when the course has been put on an online platform, the person who decided to do just a copy and paste from the slide to the course did a big mistake, because it didn't consider what was the actual, the essence of the course. I mean, the basic of the course that was only about reflections.
So what was the essence of the learning?
What was the essence of the learning out of this course, which is something that, for example, now is the effort that we're doing together with the subject matter expert that I'm doing together with them, in order to make some changings on the course and make the courses more let's say attractive and even more useful.
You have to see they have to see the value. So let me see. So the participants sometimes don't understand the course assignments because the assignments are not clear.
Because the assignments are not clear, because in a face-to-face course, exactly, the teacher says, now reflect. In online course, you say, now you reflect. And you look at the computer and you say, okay, let's reflect. How? No?
Okay, so the example is where they try you've just taken the face-to-face and you've not adapted it
exactly
to an online perspective.
An online perspective.
Perspective where you have that, in a face-to-face, you have this teamwork. Everyone gets together and, okay, so I want you to take 5 minutes of your time to start reflecting. How do you, so no thought has been given to how do you apply that in an online world.
Yeah.
So you go, here's the assignments I'd like you to reflect on. Okay, reflect, but then they need to prepare this in a written piece.
Exactly. Exactly. And this is what the course in theory allows. The course allows them to do that. But what I notice is many people, maybe they say, yeah, but I write it down, and then the facilitator usually he says, well done, or maybe next time you can think also this. So there is a feedback from the facilitator, but this is the other element of the business perspective, the facilitator, for example, he complains because all this reflection that in a environment where it's a group of people, it's not something that they have to assign. In a course where there are 25 people, every single reflection is something that they have to go through, read, and decide what to say. So it's not very, for also from the facilitator point of view. In fact, the reason for change, there should be a third one in theory that is for the facilitator, because facilitator also complains about the difficulty of running this course with this platform.
The difficulty.
The difficulty.
Right. Okay. Because the facilitator is having to deal with 25 pieces of reflection.
Exactly.
Whereas the group, it can happen over 20 minutes, right? Okay. So, and not everyone is coming in with their reflections.
Sure.
So, because there'll be the ones in the group who don't say a word.
Sure, exactly.
Okay. So then you need to think about what the solution could be there.
Mm-hmm.
Because clearly they have to still do the assignments. If your course is predominantly reflective, it's a lot of reflection works, cognitive analysis, making them do critical thinking, then you need to have a way that you're going to offer that, whether it's something like, for example, a group coaching, not a group call. Mm-hmm. So they all come together in a group session.
Yeah, for example.
Right. And then maybe have breakout rooms. And, I don't know, then you have to have the software where they all come together, and then you can put them into breakout rooms, then they can all discuss, reflect, and then bring them all back and maybe assign one person to say, so what was the reflection in your team? What was in your team? What was in that team? So there's also encouraging a community spirit online.
That would be the idea. That was the idea. But it's not happening.
Yeah, but then also that could overcome, sorry, I am thinking aloud here, but what you had talked about in your previous program, that objection teachers are having, that they prefer the face-to-face.
Yeah.
When you're trying to encourage them to you online, you say, well, you have exactly the same thing. So what we would offer is have these, you have this assignment, so we want you to, okay, so and then schedule a call.
Yeah.
That they'll all come in to join. So they have time for the reflection of, take, I don't know, how you plan it, how you do it. I'm just thinking out loud here. Because it is very doable with also systems that are around, that you can encourage people to come through. Even something like Zoom, for example, does that. And, this is my thought. Sorry, we are looking at, I'm just trying to think out loud about, there are possibilities. So I'm thinking about the solution you might be offering. Because one thing is highlighting the problem, but then think if the course is, say, 70% reflective work, critical thinking, but then also sharing that information, discussion.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's true. It's true. Discussion. There are many discussion. There are the opportunity to create discussion within the course, and this has been used a lot throughout the course as well. Maybe the question of the discussion sometimes are not right, because the type of questions maybe that they don't allows an actual discussion. So it's a kind of everybody contributing and say their point of view, and that's it, but there is not any real discussion. So maybe the discussion should also, this discussion, the type of discussion should have been chosen smartly. I mean, what is coming out, as you possibly understood so far, is the big challenge is actually that nobody cared about the actual content of the online, and they thought that the face-to-face, fine, let's do the online, it would be the same.
So when you say content of the course is not sufficiently, so was not sufficiently thought out.
Thought out, okay.
Thought out, okay. Because I was thinking, was that taught? That's how I made a note here. It's like taught or
No.
thought. Okay, so it wasn't thought out, not sufficiently.
Okay.
So this was back at the beginning, not sufficiently thought out on how to adapt it, to the online world, the online
No,
sphere.
exactly.
Yeah, so there's not enough reflection. Here we go. Because also the assignments, if your assignments are not very, I mean, if your assignment is, what's your assignment? Please reflect on what? This point that we've just made? Well, what do you mean
Yeah.
you want them to reflect?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like say this is what this is what we learned. So please think about how would you apply in your class, for example, or reflect how would you do in your class, and everybody start writing. Okay, possibly I would change. I will do this and this and this and this. So it's true that
Right.
this prepares, in theory, the teacher to bring this material all together and say, okay, during the course, I thought that that was a good idea. So now I have to apply my idea.
Right. So you could, exactly. So I can see this very, I mean, yes, if you have a problem that you don't have enough facilities, which is what you point here, the complexity allows the progress, but the number of courses limited the number of trainers available. And that's just too much work. Then if you want to encourage a discussion that's not too prolonged, then he's, receiving 3 million reflections, is then saying, okay, so like to think about it, write down your thoughts, and a bit like how we've done. Then we meet and go, okay, so, but you have to then manage it as a group, because you don't have time to do 25 individuals.
No, exactly.
It's that
But
you can put them into breakout rooms, and then you as a facilitator can overhear into each room how the discussion is going, and then make
I'm
notes.
exactly, and I'm not even sure if you start also talking about a different type of course. It wouldn't be not anymore an online as has been thought. It would be more a kind of blended at that point.
Blended learning, which is, I think, that's what I think a lot of people need, because if they have questions, and it ends up that they all put it on the discussion board, and then you might inevitably you get the people who are going off tangent, and you don't quite know what's going
Yeah.
on. And who gets where, everyone's trying to find the thread, and they don't quite find what's going on, and that's always such an issue, because but okay, so it's not been sufficiently thought out to adapt it to to the online sphere. I'm going to finish. I think we'll finish with the users' feedback. We still have the business perspective
I
here.
know.
But
It was a lot to talk through.
participants don't feel the course has helped in learning. Too many reflections and not many best practices, you said.
Yeah.
So, so here I wrote down too much theory, not enough best practice. What can you tell me a bit more about the best practice? What do you mean?
For example,
So what's your, sorry, I start again. Your narrative behind this. What did you prepare?
Participant don't feel. Yeah, is again, it's based on the fact that if the course online, it should be something where they have to learn something from examples, for example, or from best practice of how the IPC, the curriculum should be implemented. They should have more material on there. So maybe even substituting all this reflection in something that is more something
More
already
practical.
more practical, something that's been done already. Because again, reflection again, and also Shanti, remember that these courses, this face-to-face, are done in a school, so with people from the same school, same environment. So it's kind of ad hoc course, let's say, in a completely different environment with the 20 schools, different people from 20 different schools. It works differently. So it's more like the course should say the teacher what to do rather than the other way around.
Right. What do you mean by ad hoc?
Ad hoc, sorry, like designed. I mean, it's the same course, but the facilitator has the trainer, the classroom trainer has the capability to understand the school and meanwhile go through the course. You also, let's say, adapt a little bit, the type of example that he gives to the
So he's
school.
so he's tailoring it.
Tailoring, no, doc. Yes, it's tailoring the course. It gives
You're tailoring.
in online
See,
course, I
sai
think.
sai cosa, ad hoc is an Italian thing. I've come up with another client who used ad hoc, and he was giving this presentation. I was going, "What do you mean by ad hoc?" He goes, "Yeah, yeah." I'm like, "But ad hoc is just, sort of
How do you
not
say in
planned."
English? Yeah, what is in English, Doc?
So an ad hoc meeting is a spontaneous meeting. You suddenly,
Seriously, don't tell me.
it's a completely different meaning the way the Italians use. Because I remember going, huh? What do you mean by why? So like it just had a completely different meaning, which was completely confusing. And I was thinking,
Oh gosh.
no, I said I just got to make this. We have these ad hoc meetings, so you have and then so which could be just called anytime. So of course it's totally different because you're talking about it's tailored.
The opposite.
See,
Thank you. Thank you,
no
Sean.
problem. Because I was thinking it's ad hoc. So yeah. So that's where ad hoc, of course, I think it's Latin, isn't it? So I think it's just
Yeah.
applying it in a different way. So best practices, you're talking about being more practical so they can adapt. Okay, so they're applying, they know each other, they know the school, they know the people, so they can apply case studies. So you're talking about case studies.
On the online, I would do more case studies, for example, so people
Exactly.
can read about the case studies rather than think. Now, Reflecto, it's like Shanti. I don't know. It's like let's give me an example. I know that I'm terrible because I think I make things longer when I start examples, but it's like you want to learn how to create any content online for your digital marketing campaign, during the course, rather than having people show you, for example, how, I don't know, Coca-Cola did this marketing campaign and you can take inspiration. It's like someone asking you, what do you think you would like to be? No, have you ever thought about it? I mean, yeah, I can read what other 20 people is thinking about what would be the ideal, but at the end I want to know what
So
works.
you need to take, yes, absolutely, real case studies of what's worked, what hasn't worked, if you want. Now, so okay, so they need real case studies because it's like everything. It's like, you need, because you can give them the reflection, but if they don't quite know where to start or how to do it, they need
Yeah.
guidance. They need a bit more guidance, right? So they need
Mhm.
examples, and then oh, I see, no, that's what you mean. Okay, now I see it. Okay, so how could you solve that? So, but is it a problem of the platform or that's a problem of the course?
No, again, it's a problem more of now we're shifting on the problem of the course, for example,
Right,
not of the platform.
right. Okay, so they don't feel that's helped in their learning because it's not given them the practice. It's, they're passive learners, they're not active learners, they've not put this into practice.
No, 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 no,
They need to be
exactly.
able to, but you need to give them a guide. Okay, so these are some real case studies. So thinking about your dynamics in your school, how could you approach this? How would you?
Which exactly, it could be even a task, like saying, given the fact that they have time, because it doesn't happen in 2 days, but happens in 3 weeks. It could be even a task. Now, this week, think about this, for example, applying your school. How did it work? It could be even something like this, for
Yeah,
example.
but you need to give them a real case study of
But you
something
need
that
to give a real,
worked
exactly, some people who already work on that and
with
how
a
did they do?
curriculum. Yeah. So therefore, a proposal could be we have to get examples of real case studies. So going to your schools, right? I mean, if the face-to-face workshops, go to them and say, could we use those examples, removing all the key information in terms of names and whatever, and just say, what worked well, and use those in the case. So that won't take long.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the case. This is your business case for the course, not the platform.
Both. The business case, the fact that for this type of business case, it would include many elements. So not only the platform, but also the course itself. And this is something that I said already to my line manager, that I think that you can find any the fantastic platform, but you need the proper content.
Perfect. So what comes before is the content. The platform is just the tool.
Yeah.
So when you dig down here, the more I'm listening to you, the problem here is not the platform. The problem has been nobody's really thought through this course.
And this is because it's quite easy, because there was how can I say, a misunderstanding of what was my actual role, if you want. Since the beginning, because I got a manager who didn't ask me to look at the content. He just told me, we had a guy who did the storyboard, the storyline, but this guy, he was basically copied and pasted from a PowerPoint to a Word document, what was in a PowerPoint. So because I think that when he was given with the job of doing the instructional design, he himself has been put on a spot, possibly, because
he was put on the spot to do. Yeah, he was. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So we were all because possibly the timing, because this manager, possibly one of his how can I say, motivation or reason why he has been hired, he probably promised, like, in 3 months we will have online courses. Because this is what happened. I've been hired in May, and in August we launched the online courses.
You were hired in May. Yeah, I remember, right?
You remember? Yeah. And this created the confusion, I guess, because the manager maybe was not experienced enough. He was the top manager. He was young, 28 years old. And when he's got this proposal from my manager, he said, okay, fine, no, beautiful, let's do that.
When you're thought out. Yeah, so now you're you're now having to back engineer.
Yeah.
So,
basically.
But that's businesses. That's how, we all sort of, let's all go for it, and nobody thinks about it. And so now it's also saying, so I think some of the thoughts you want to put forward is, yes, a lot of this was, great intentions, great, but just not well thought out. So we were going along and fixing things as we went along, without having a clear idea of the content, how you translate that content from face-to-face into online, what you want to put it in, making sure that and maybe, did you run a beta version of this to test it with people?
No, not at all.
This
is how it works in many companies sometimes, especially small companies. Now they do a promise, they say, we will do it. It was really kind of, if I think now with the whole picture, as I said, of how things went, it's but also the fact is that basically the subject matter expert, who are the people who create this course face-to-face on the first instance, they didn't have any word with the instructional designer. They just got the course on the platform when it was completed, and what has been asked to them is, no worries, in 1 week you will review the course. But the review, it was just going tick, tick, tick if there was type or mistakes. And now some of them, they are saying, well, actually, when I saw for the first time, I thought it was not a good one.
Yeah.
But nobody said anything, because, of course, the machine, it started, and
So that started. So, okay. And so finally, very quickly, the group activity tool doesn't allow, not don't allow, sorry, my grammar, I'm just checking, doesn't allow to work collaboratively.
The group activities. Yes, sorry, I should have put the that don't allow
The
the group activities.
tools don't
Yeah,
allow tools. Okay, so you have various tools. Don't allow to work collaboratively
in a,
in
in a
a
group
group.
because yes, this is another thing that is there is this tool is I mean inside in the course there are different tools elements, and one of these tools is group activity. So you can build in a group activity, but it's not really very smart. I mean, it doesn't work very well.
Give me example of an activity tool or
Um,
activity they
for
give you.
well, it's basically another of these features, of the inside this platform built in. So you create the code, you create the task. So now, together with the people in your group, you can create, I don't know, reflect on how to develop the learning goals in your school. I don't know, something like this. And they have the name of these people who is in the group, but then they have to go back, create in a chat, asking, okay, what are we going to do? And then it's not like even if has been sold this one as a group activity, but actually the space that they have to write the submission, it, they cannot really work on that like it would be, for example, a Word document.
Right. So,
So,
yeah. Oh, right. Okay. Or like a Google Doc that everyone sort of
yeah,
works on.
like a global doc, they have first to someone has to write everything and then pass on this.
Right.
Uh,
They need Slack.
then it's like, yeah, it's true.
You need something like Slack as a platform. You create the workspace and they join that workspace, because then you as the coordinator puts in the document, and then
Yeah,
everyone, and then people, then you can have that chat, and then you can see the thread of
yeah.
what is going on. Okay. But it's trying to find that tool that incorporates that into that platform, and that's when you're trying to put everything into one.
Yeah, and then it
So you're
starts.
a
It's so
small
easy.
business. If it's just small business, sometimes you're trying to think as like a big business, and you're trying to get a platform to do too many things, and it's trying to break it down. And so it's almost what is most important now, first and foremost.
Mhm.
Okay, Daniela, was that useful?
Yes, very much because it's, we have solutions on together. So in theory, the next step is starting thinking at least on this side, putting
So
together.
you've got the business perspective here, requires too much effort to be managed. The course duplication process is not efficient, is not time effective. I don't, so because I made some notes here. So what I'm going to do is because I couldn't,
Mhm.
um, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my notes in a Google Doc,
Okay.
because, for example, you said, yes, requires too much effort. Participants are not good advocates for the course. And I was a bit confused to what you said here. The
Okay.
course duplication, participants, features the product doesn't help to create good quality product. Participants are not good advocates for the courses. And I thought,
Mhm.
why? Course fee expense. So you're saying course fee expensive, and we cannot count on the quantity of people registering. So I was thinking, question is, are you looking for quality or quantity? So I had a number of questions just from the notes you put in there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was thinking, okay, so I need you to think about further thoughts about developing that. In terms of
Shall
the
I?
other,
Shall I do that? For example, start doing that, developing a little bit better these thoughts, maybe.
well, the business perspective,
Yeah.
the users' feedback. Yeah,
Both possibly.
well, what we can do is, because I am conscious that you are also busy. So I had questions. Obviously, we didn't get to the business perspective because it was very useful, the user feedback. And then we had a lot more questions. I will send you the recording and you can listen back. I will also make some notes. I know we looked at some possible solutions, maybe. The one that I was a bit confused is still this resources and that interactive.
Okay.
But no, what I'm going to do is, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make notes from the questions I had from the business perspective, because you made those notes and I also had questions like, the LMS is not scalable. And again, I asked, is that important? Are you looking for higher numbers? You know, how would the platform be different if it was scalable? Surely the course design is down to whoever creates. So I had some questions. So I'll write those down. Excuse me, I'm about to sneeze. Excuse me.
Bless you.
Just purely from those notes. And I don't know whether you had a wider narrative. So more questions to ask yourself. The quality of the course equals the features of the platform. Can you tell me a bit more? So I think here you said, always request for so the features of the platform doesn't help create a good quality product. So why do the features hinder the quality of the course? So I was just a bit confused when I was reading that. And what do the learners need to do? Okay, that was, now you've explained a bit more. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to collate my notes from today. So we've looked at the users' feedback. So I'll incorporate some of the solutions we discussed. There's a lot more here as you're talking. You're thinking, okay, so how do I? But where you made these points here, I'm going to add the questions I had, because I couldn't understand that. Because of course, if it's not too clear, how do you expand that in a business proposal?
Okay.
Yeah, because you need to understand the features that don't help create a good quality product. What do you mean?
Yeah.
Tell me more. Why are the participants not good advocates for the course? Why are they the wrong type of participant? What's wrong with them?
No, advocate, yes, possibly I used the wrong word.
Exactly. So it's, when you sit there and you think, okay, so if you were to put that in a proposal, people go, well, what do you mean? Tell me more. So what do you want me to do? How can we sort this problem out? But this is really excellent, Daniela. I mean, you've put a lot of work in here, and I think it's great.
Okay, so what can I do is like expand also a little bit more this reason for change and giving a little bit more of significance.
Don't worry, I will set you your assignment.
Okay.
I will share the notes, as I said, that I've done, the questions that I've done, and I'll say, let's explore this a bit more, because I'm wondering, you need to dig down a bit more and be able to answer that and find a solution. So on the users' feedback, it's great. We've come up with some ideas, some solutions. So I'll put that in the notes.
Okay.
On the business perspective, I need you to answer the questions I had from yesterday as I was writing them down. And maybe in the next session, we can look at you answering those questions. And it might be that in between you have the answers and you want to share them with me on Slack. Okay. Ideally, if you can put them in a Google Doc.
Let's do Google Doc. Okay.
I know you can't create this wonderful mind map. I wonder whether, no, Google Doc doesn't allow you.
No, I think I can do on Google Doc. I can recreate.
But you can create the map, but then what I can do is then I'll just take one point and go, can you tell me more? Or great, so what are the solutions for here?
Okay.
So are you finding this mind mapping helpful?
Very helpful. Very helpful. Very helpful. A lot of things are coming out with that I didn't think about. So it's very, very helpful.
Yeah, and great, because it just shows how the joined up thinking, there was no joined up thinking in how this course was put together. Then, and I'm curious to know how did the course come before the platform, or did the platform come before the course? Because, sometimes we try and make something fit something and it just doesn't work. So, do you know, did the platform come before the course? course or the course first?
The course face-to-face, you mean,
No,
itself?
for the online.
For the online, well, no, it's easy. There was a course, let's find the online platform. The platform has been found, and then they said, "Oh, okay, sure, this is the course, no problem. We can help you to create the script." And I think that was the moment when they got the, how do you say, cold shower, because I think they bought everything, and then they saw what was the script, and at that point, I think it was too late.
So your show the content that you have in your face-to-face workshops, gave it to the platform designers, said, "Here's is what we want." Oh yeah, sure, no problem, we can do that. But of course, the platform is only doing what you guys asked them to do.
Exactly. And also we have a shell, actually. What we have, this platform is just a shell, and we had content. So we had content, and because it's how it works for all the platform, most of the online platform. And then there is this kind of person in the middle that he creates the content, he creates the narration. And sometimes people, the platform itself, I mean the owner of the platform, they say, "Do you want to add yourself, or do you want us to do the editing?" And of course, if you want us to do the editing, is this money. Otherwise, if you can do it yourself, and it's for free, no? But this is all the point. Who puts together the content and the ideas?
Right. So the content creation. So the content creation for the workshop is there. So you're responsible for that. But then no one thought, all the idea was, we're just going to put that, take the whole lot, dump it onto a platform. It's all going to look fantastic. No thought was given to how do we adapt it. So no adaptation. I'm making notes here, and I'm just trying to think, that's what you want to be looking at, writing down, going, so problem here was no adaptation, piecemeal platform development, really. I mean, so the developers start putting it together. They're only responsible for what you give them. So they start putting it together.
Oh, not even the developers, because actually the developers, they didn't do anything really. The developers just recommend. There is actually, this is the point. There are no developers in this project. In this project there is a platform owner, who is this company who sold the platform, the shell. There was a guy who was a kind of a contractor for the company, who put together the storyboard in theory, who just created this Word document where the content were there, and I had just to copy and paste the content and the images. I mean, he did even, how can I say, in a useless job in theory. Because
okay, Daniela, it will be very useful to say, look at who were the key players in this. So maybe you don't need to create
next
a mind.
Time. We can do next time, no worries.
Yeah, you can draw it out, because this, you put in your proposal, you go, this is where it all went wrong, sort of, because there's no joined up thinking, let's use a jargon, a buzzword. No joined up thinking here, because you've got the platform owner, then you've got this guy with his storyboard theory, and I don't quite know you gave me some idea. Then you've got, so who are all the key players who put this thing together? And where does it not fit? Because that's your problem. This all stems from, we just didn't think this through. So the consequence now is this. We have a clunky platform. We have a course content but why is that wrong? Because we haven't adapted it. So everything stems from the beginning. We just had this great idea. For whatever reason, let's go online. Fantastic, good job. Someone makes that proposal. Let's do it. Then there's also the budget issues, right? Okay, now do you want to do the editing? We can do it for this much. Okay, so now we're going to keep costs low. So we're keeping costs down. So in order to keep costs down, suddenly we're doing a do-it-yourself site kind of thing. So then you're getting the person who's editing, but all they're doing is editing for typos. So you might not put all this into your business proposal,
No.
but it's the stuff that you're writing down and going, this was and then this was another problem, and then this was so okay, then you think, okay, so let's bring it right down to the bare essential.
Okay.
This is where you want. So I don't need you to create stuff, even drawing it all out and taking a photo and just putting that image onto the Google Doc or onto Slack, just as you're playing around and going, who are my main players here? How did this start? So, because it starts from the beginning, and then from there, it started, over 2 years, then you have change of people. You're taking this copying and pasting attitude. Well, yeah. And so what's happened is you've now, as a result of all this, you have user feedback, which is valuable, but it's just shown, demonstrated all the flaws of the course content and the platform. And why? Because nobody thought this through. So I'm just trying to think back, right? And go, okay, so, and as you're telling me this, which is all coming from you, and I'm building a picture. I can just see it.
Yeah, it's important to build this picture. I think you're right in the business case. Otherwise,
you're building your picture for yourself first, and then you can put this. You can even put it in a slide or even drawing it out. And I mean, I think if you were giving this business proposal, I would stand in front of the guy and tell him, this is your issue. This is what you're having. This, picture this, you've got this and you've got that. And everyone's kind of trying to do it, but it's not quite going. So in the end, what happens is if we are not crystal clear, we can't expect our users to understand what we're doing. We're asking them to understand something that we ourselves don't understand. How is that possible? It's like me trying to put together a program, and yes, that's why you have beta versions. Test it out with a small group. Do it, because we all get it wrong. Of course we do, but that's where you have to learn from that mistake. And before you go off and buy another new platform, we've got to learn from all the mistakes we've made.
Yeah, it's true.
It's like it's like
I see the same. I see in this way. Yeah.
So put that down, because that's your experience is invaluable, and you need to share your experience, but you need the evidence, and this is all your evidence that you're putting together.
Interesting, Shanti. I like it.
Ciao, Bella. We went over. Listen, when we, as I say, I'll put together all my notes tomorrow and I'll share them with you, so then and I'll tell you what I'd like you to do. And then maybe we can meet.
It depends. How long does it take this? How long does it will last this coaching, Shanti? I haven't asked you. Sorry.
Well, I mean, I'm flexible in the sense that because I want you to, I want to help you do this. So I also don't want to, because I'm conscious of your time. So it might be that maybe in 2 weeks' time, once you've looked at the notes and once I've seen a bit about what I'm asking you to do, I might give you another 2 weeks to put something together, and then we can have another one-to-one. If then you think, oh, I need more help, then maybe we can talk about doing, extra, which of course then will be part of the program we did. And then we could start a new coaching session. It depends on how you go. You might think that after these sessions, that's more than enough, Shanti. That's good. I'm good to go. I can put something together. And that's entirely your decision.
Well, it's a very good start. It's a very good material actually to put together. Is as you said, is the evidence. I like the evidence.
Yeah, you've got to provide the evidence, and you've got the experience, you've got the know-how, you've done it all. With all proposals, you've got to provide them with the evidence before they're going to say, oh yeah, great, okay, yeah, we'll sign up for something, because a lot of stuff needs to. And also that the proposal will have to include what sort of people you need. What are you going to need? The resources you're going to need in order to make this work this time around. So there's a lot of thinking you've got to put in there before you put this together. So this has been a lot of gathering of information, gathering of data to then say, this is the position we're at, this is where it started, and this is where we're now, and this is what we need. if we're going to change. And the
Yeah.
reason for change is yes here, but it's just not workable. And if we want this thing to make money, and it's not scale, of course it's not scalable, because you're not going to get more users if it's so damn difficult to use. So it's a catch-22 here. You need to work it out. So in terms of your from our point of view, the coaching, it's all down to you. I'm happy to do. Well, I am going to do another coaching session, and then it's up to you whether you want to continue.
Okay, Shanti, it's perfect. No, thanks for letting me know. Yes, I just wanted to understand what was the...
Sure, of course. And what was, hold on, let me just stop sharing. Yeah, and I can drop that a line, okay, to you, and then you can decide. You might decide, no, Babe, I'm okay, I can do this myself. Or you might just want, Shanti, I'm working on this, can we then have a quick session?
Okay.
So entirely up to you to say, I just want to check something.
Yeah,
so you don't have to sign up to a program. You might just say, could we have a session, and I'll free up with some time and then say, yeah, sure, no problem. Okay, so I'll write down the notes, but what are your whereabouts in the next few weeks? Let me know. Do you think you'll be able to put everything together in 3 weeks, 2 weeks?
Yeah, I would like to, actually. I would like to do that, because so at least I can, because now it's fresh and I have these ideas, and it's better to wrap up in a short time.
But yeah, that's it. Keep it. Otherwise it all expands, and then you forget all about it. So, you want to schedule something for the 19th of July?
Okay, 19th of July.
Okay. Well, I will drop that in my my notes tomorrow. So 19th of July, just tell me, and I will, give you the times I have.
Okay.
And you can schedule it in, or we can schedule in for the same sort of time like today.
This time is fine, I think, because it's the one that allows me to stay longer at work. And,
sì, vabbè, poverina, adesso
no,
devi andare...
poverina, let's go.
Poverina, adesso devi andare a casa. Io sono già a casa.
No, non worry, sei tranquilla, va bene.
Ciao, adesso ti fai un bel gin and tonic.
E via.
Dai, no, tu essendo bravissima adesso vai a nuotare, ti conosco.
No, Shanti, sono passati quei tempi.
Senti, ciao bella, you take care, and I will send the recording for this, so if you want to, and I will be in touch tomorrow.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much, Shanti. That was fantastic. Take care.
Ciao.
Have a nice evening. Thank you.
Ciao.